often there'll be situations where there will be a kind of precedent that covers a lot of issues, but you want to insert paragraphs that cover the specific situation you're dealing with now. This is a situation where we've got a rescission application already but we're going to withdraw it and file another one because the information we had in the original one is, that it's been superseded by events, or maybe the answering affidavit raised a few issues and you just want to draft another one to clear up all the issues. You can't change an affidavit, you can't amend, so you can only withdraw and file a new one. Sometimes it's traditional to tender costs, but you don't have to. There will be costs due in the end if you have withdrawn and filed another one, but in the context of a person that might lose their house worth several million, these costs are not going to be significant if you manage to get them opportunity to sell their house for what it's worth, or obviously if there's going to be no positive resolution at any point, then there's no point in proceeding with any litigation. But in situations where you are, then the costs will usually not be significant compared to the benefit. Okay, so what do? You're going to draft a new paragraph. So you're always going to make sure that it's in the correct form. Is it Arial 12? Always pick this one. You don't want A's and B's and C's in a court document. You might want it in an act of Parliament, but not in a court document. So there you are. You've got your situation here. I've already got this set up, so it's an Arial 12 and it's double spaced. So, oops. If I put something here, then it's going to be double spaced. If you haven't got that, then you'll have to set it up, and then you do headings. So in this case, I'm going to say this rescission was filed previously, or a previous version of this rescission was filed and withdrawn. If you're going to do this, you've got to withdraw the previous one, so you don't need a notice of withdrawal for that. It was filed and withdrawn. This one clears up many of the issues raised and removes issues that have been resolved. This reduces the issues in dispute. Which judges always like you doing that. They want you to get rid of all the nonsense and focus on the real issues. So that's a good thing to do that. Courts will be sympathetic to that kind of approach. In addition, certain other evidence has become available since that time, which is now included. So you kind of explain why you are bringing a new application. So you're now going to go through the previous heads of argument and cover the issues and their various heading. Would be one way to do it. There's nothing kind of magical about the way I'm doing it here. There'd be other ways to do it, but I like headings in capital letters without bold or underline and not numbered, and then these paragraphs only are numbered. So you're now going to go through this and say what the issues are. So, oops. Are we still recording here? We are still recording. Okay, so what have we got in our numbered paragraphs now? As you can see, I've done a little bit of work while I've had this paused. So we look at the things that they've said. I've got issues now resolved, I've got issues not resolved. It's just anything that makes it easier for the judge to understand our case. is better, which why I put summaries at the beginning and I explain what's changed and what's not changed. Then the judge can easily understand our case. Right, so go through their opposing affidavit from the last time. So there's a surety, they've now attached the right surety, they had the wrong surety before, so we say there's nothing we can really claim now, they've got a proper surety there from the right entity, so we explain correct surety now attached, that's now resolved. They also, their whole thing about whether or not we'd submitted particular annexures or not, we eventually did, so that's now resolved, annexures provided, here it is. Then they said that I was unbriefed, which sometimes happens because we write to them directly to save costs for the client, so we explain that. And then we say, where did they say that applicant is a credit provider? They originally attached a Sunlum surety instead of an ABSA one, so then we said, is Sunlum even a credit provider? But now we don't need to argue that. Knowing his address, I still need to check this with the client. Quantum, we're still saying the quantum's incorrect. So in our answering affidavit paragraphs, we say the following issues are not resolved, quantum's not resolved, and of course locus standi, our whole securitization argument. We might also come in with the service as well, but I need to check that. But you can see what we've laid out, and now what we're going to do with this, we're now going to paste this into the precedent. So okay, so how do we go for the precedent? I keep a shortcut to important places in my computer. It's a good way to do it, and then it goes directly to my Dropbox folder. I could have just gone to Dropbox drafter folder, and then what am I looking for? This is a rescission application. There's my rescissions. It's the rescission of a main judgment. Is it ABSA? It is in fact ABSA. So let me just check that it's ABSA. It is in fact ABSA. So we're going to use that particular precedent. So where do you paste it in this? First of all, I'm going to save this as, I'm going to go to Dropbox, banking clients, in this particular client. I'm going to save it under his name. So I'm just going to edit this just to add this with an F, name of the client in this case. So I'm not overwriting the one in Dropbox. I'm going to paste all these paragraphs, copy them, and then I'm going to, usually when you're putting in extra stuff, you'll put it before the first heading. So after all this stuff, I hereby make oath and say, I'll paste it there for some weird reason. It's pasted in this Calibri 11, in the vagaries of this weird program called Word. So you will then change it to Arial 12, and you'll have to change the numbering as well. The funny thing about numbering when you do this, it doesn't automatically renumber. Let me just try it, but often when you go to numbering or continue numbering, it doesn't do it. Doesn't do it here. Word is crap, and so you have to go through it all like this and change it. And then this just needs to be amended for the particular client, which I won't do here, as it's pretty easy.